check to make sure my mic looks correct here. I think it does. OBS is a little wonky right now, I'm not sure why. But, welcome back. Starting up the stream, I'm gonna do probably maybe an hour here of working on the fantasy console, which is now called MI83. Which uses .NET and C# to do the actual code or the development in it, but the actual code that you write in it is in Python. So can't remember. Last stream I actually created a logo for this, and I tried to set it as an icon. It's not really working, but as an icon, it's not that great either, so I might have to fix that. But this is the icon or the logo that I kind of landed on. So, but I'm gonna get back into looking here. So, in terms of implementing things, I suppose I can just make sure that each of these is implemented. So if we go to our home screen, which has these APIs in them, I'll just pick up there. We have clear home. That's why things are a little wonky. All right, clear home, which clears the position and sets the cursor back. Output, which does what you'd expect. Display graph does what it expects. Input is a little ugly, but seems to work. Pause is implemented. Menu is implemented, not to complete spec, but implemented nonetheless. Get key is not implemented yet. Set foreground and set background are implemented. So all we have to do is get key, which is basically kind of like a read key on console in .NET land. So this one's going to be a little tricky, mostly because the well, actually, it's not too tricky. I lie. We can probably use the window input for this instead of in MonoGame getting all of the keys wired up is actually a pain in the butt. What we can do is actually create an input buffer, wait for it, and then just grab the first key that's pressed off of it. But this actually has gives you the char code. There is a key code in this that is a MonoGame key code, but maybe we do just go the char code and call that as it is. I think that's probably fine. So we'll just treat this as if it's, as soon as we get something in that buffer, we're good to go. So I believe all we need to do is set up the input buffer like this. We eventually set it to null, which wipes it out. While input buffer dot count, well, we can go not any. Reads better. Then we return, or we sleep for a little bit. And we get the first one off the queue. We wipe it and we return it. as an integer value. Well, that should be implicitly converted. Okay. So that should be enough, so it's just sitting there blocking. So let's go and test that. So what we'll do here is instead of pausing, we'll do a get key, which means any key that gets entered will be, so this will be just a quick test. We'll switch it back to pause after. And so this is Python here. I don't think get key is actually defined, though, come to think of it. Yeah. So we need to go to our program. And I suppose I can close out of all that. And we can put get key in here. The other thing is I don't know that get key should really be a home screen thing, because we'll want to get key for, in fact, I might move it up, and we're going to call this system. Because unlike input, it's like you could use it on a graphic screen, although you wouldn't want to. Well, I'll keep it here until I know that it's. This is a function that returns an integer, and it's here home screen. Get key. All right, come on, wipe off the thrust. All right. So now when I go into the edit for this, whatever key I press, it should have printed off, but then it's ending right away, so you should technically, to verify it's working, put a little pause in there. Again, pause. So I'll delete these two lines after I test this out. Yep, so that was key code 53 or character code 53. I wonder what happens if I do escape, so 27, enters 13. So it's carriage returns. It's not really a key code. In the way that it's probably thought of there. Like F1, does F1 even, see F1 isn't displayable, so it's not actually doing anything with that. Interesting. So maybe this isn't going to work the way I want it to. The question is, I'm assuming that F1 comes in here. Let's try that once. Nope. It does not. So none of the function keys actually appear. None of the control or pause or any of that. That's interesting. So we before I forget, let's wipe that. And we'll figure out what the heck we're going to do for that. So, I mean, I could go through the keyboard state and just try to figure out if any of them are pressed. Like I said, I'm a little surprised that text input only covers characters that are printable. Well, yeah, so like that's one. But if I press any of the function keys, shift, control, home, end, end apparently works. And arrow keys don't count. Backspace does. So I wonder why Window picks up on those and not others. And if there's a way to make it do that. I doubt it. Window input, text input. Keys. It checks if anyone is here. This is not a good approach because the character. So it looks like it's stuck in feature request. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know what I'm reading here. There's no clear workaround for this, from what I can tell. Unless they've added something that I'm not aware of to window. Oh, they do have key up and oh my goodness gracious. Let's try this. Computer dot home screen dot key. I think key up would happen always after key down, right? So we'll change this a little bit, I suppose. See, we have a key. It's not a character buffer type thing like this. So it's what we need to do is something where let's get rid of this input buffer. From here. So what we need to do is somehow tell it that we're waiting for a code, and then when this happens, it would update that one time, and then it would clear it. So it's kind of like we have a request, code request or something like that. So I mean, the signal is kind of the same. Well, I suppose I could do just always store. So by default it's nullable. Here we'd say last key up equals null, while last key up equals does not have value, sleep. Then we do last key up dot value dot and these will be something like that then. Okay, so now I have to do I should really just create a really quick sub program that does this. I can just go ahead and modify one of the other test programs in there. Open file for Explorer. In debug programs, let's go with testing. And we will give this one something like, get key. Display. Okay, so that should run. If we run testing program. We never ran clear though. It should probably run clear when you actually do the execution on that. I would think, but because then I don't have to do this every time. But you know, maybe you do want to leave the state because there we go. So we can make that a little bit more clear by saying something like display enter press any key. Press 13. Can I just do commas to concat these? I seem to recall something like another way to do this, but anyways. Where's the any key? So progress function. That's good. Yeah, okay. Good. Okay, let's mark that as complete. Or say get key implemented. Okay, so that completes, I think, all of the ones that I had lined up for the home screen. One of the things that I wasn't sure about, 220.20.12.17.1. One of the things I wasn't sure about on the TI-83 is how they do. It's not.
If you work in a team, you've got to try Monday.
I want to see if like what's the input look like for this? They have well, they do have use get key, but what happens if they don't press any key? Is it kind of like get key, get the last key, and then it's just, you know, like it immediately returns, and it's like, is the idea that it's nullable? Because in that case, I could change get key to do that. Actually, you know what? I think it does do that. Let me try TI-83 get key. Let's look up the returns the value of the last key pressed since the last time get key was executed. Oh, so it just returns immediately. And there always has to be, you know, a key, so it's not going to wait for one in the way that I think it's going to wait. You can wait by doing a loop. Okay, so yeah, my thought that this doesn't really belong here kind of makes sense now. So we're gonna take this to, well, yeah, we'll keep that for now. We probably will take this off the home screen at some point. I'm gonna put a to do in here because I just want to move on from this. Move to home screen. So it returns the last key since the last time you ran it, which could be nothing. Since the last time you ran it. So I'm guessing by default, if it's like I said, nullable, it would be 0. So we wouldn't actually wait here. We would do something like last key, or get value or default, which returns, you know, what I want to do is have it return a -1. That way it won't match any known key code. Then this just returns value. Move to out of home screen. Oh. So in this case, the value of get key is clear every time you read from it until a new key is pressed. For this reason, except in very rare cases, you do not want to use the value of get key in an expression directly, but store it to a variable first. It's also common to use get key inside of repeat loops that the program can wait for the user to press a key. Yeah, so it would be null as soon as it's not null. Repeat and get key. So get key. I don't know how to interpret this. It's gonna be in a sit there in a constant loop waiting for the value to be some value, I suppose. Huh. Is that like a pattern match then? Wow. Yeah, I'm not going to follow this exactly, so we'll just say that it's this. So now what our program would look like is something like, while b equals -1, key get key, then it will split. So this will sit in a loop, just churn away. suppose that immediately you'd want to get key to clear it. Since the last time get key was executed. So interesting enough, to do this correctly, you need to have this not run so like there has to be like a starter, because initially the key wouldn't be pressed, or you wouldn't call get key, and eventually at some point you call get key and it's got to start null, then get key kind of triggers it, then you so and you could clear out that value, which would kind of make sense that you should anyways, I suppose. So this should be more like get key. That. So you run testing, then you wait, and then press 9 there. Perfect. All right. Times 2:30. It's 2:31. All right, so now that we've done that, we can start thinking about, there are some other system ones that aren't in here that I need to think about too, or want to add. So I'm going to call this system commands versus whatever, and I am going to move get key up to that. So get programs returns a list of programs. The computer. Create program creates reprogram, reads the program code, returns the program the code. So I also have been trying to say what the types are here. So it's like list of strings, create program, takes in a string for the name, name, GM name, read program, takes in PRGM name and returns PRGM load program code. Run program, PRGM name, runs the provided program, is the specified program. There. Waits for the, it doesn't wait, turns the last key pressed. Okay, so I was thinking about other system ones I want to do, which might be fun to try to get working here in the few minutes that I have. But one of them is I want to do is to get display resolution, which returns an array of resolutions get disres supported resolutions. So, and that will return a list of supported resolutions. And then there will be set dispres, which takes in dispres index and doesn't return anything, so it's set dispres. Sets the resolution of the display. So yeah, these are a couple system ones that I want to do. And this will allow us to add in a menu to the operating system for the display. So we'll have a display option in here. And then when the option is 1 or 0, then we will run our let's just run display. So what this should do then is it should get a list of, based on our thing here, we get as, well, first it would clear home, get resolutions, it would create a menu out of these, so it'd be like menu, I think I use all caps for these display. Then I would run the menu command. Oh, that's already running the menu command. So our selection equals that. Then we would do set dispres based on the option index, which is selection at index 1. Okay. So if I've done that all correctly, then all I should have to do here is implement these two things. So get dispres and set dispres. Move get key up here. So this would be scope.set variable, name of, and this would be probably our computer.set. Sorry, it'd be more like probably display. Get dispres. Function that returns an array of strings. This would be set variable name of display dot set dispres new function. Sorry, this would be an action which takes a integer index. Like that. And so we just need to implement these two guys now. So what this is going to do is it's going to take the supported resolutions. It's going to which come back as resolutions like that. So dot select. So I'm going to map it to a string. So this would be resolution. So if the resolution, and I think I've got an index that keeps track of the, I don't, I just have these. So what I could do is here is say, since these are value types, if r equals resolution of the display, then I want to do a different string. So I want to do in brackets so that the person knows that that's the current one. And then I would do something like this. Otherwise it would just be like that. Operator equals cannot be applied to operands of resolution and resolution. But why not? It's a record type. Oh, it's a struct. Well, I guess I'll do the hard way. R dot width equals resolution, not width. R dot height equals resolution. I thought there was a default quality comparator, but maybe if I do the equals, it would work. I think that does a default comparison over it, but r dot width times r dot height. Now I shouldn't have to do this twice like this, but I could change this. Okay, so that gives me all of those back. Then I get in the resolution index. And I do update resolution to the visres index. And that should set it. Now if I did everything right, cross fingers, this should all work. Go to system, click display. You can see which one's current. I'm not sure I like that scheme of telling you which one's current, but there. So it worked, it set it to 96. But as you can see, the actual scaling, it still thinks it's virtual width, so I have to update our virtual or viewport adapter here. To say, I thought I had like the option to do, did I have an event on this to say the resolution changed? Oh yeah, on resolution changed. So so what I should do here is after I create the computer, or the where is it? Oh yeah. And actually I should do that after I create the viewport. there. Okay, so then what I need to do is say viewport adapter. Virtual height equals e dot view resolution height. Set the width. And then I will reset the viewport adapter. Alright, so if I go in here, I go to display, I swap that. Oh, attempts to rewrite protected memory. This is actually memory is corrupt. Oh, so I'm doing multi-threaded programming here, so it's likely that I need to, whenever I'm using the viewport adapter, make sure that I'm like locking it. So that I can maintain control over it, I think. Oh, still error. The other thing I can do here is not do a lock on this, but let's try doing, well, let me see if I just set that without resetting what happens. Maybe it'll automatically, because of the way that it's structured. Yeah, okay. There we go. I don't like how it's just, I gotta check something here. The 380 by whatever isn't like, doesn't feel right. I mean, that is 192 times 2, right? Yeah, 384. I don't know if it's just because the screen is too small that it's like the way that the clamping works or what. I think I'm going to change that from in the way that it actually prints out that resolution to be something like this.
Tell me when it's 3 o'clock, okay?
Okay.
Because then I'm playing with my daddy.
We'll go this. Oh my gosh, can't get the. There we go. It's a little ugly, but it gets the job done. All right. You know what? I could probably get by with not doing that, but just putting a star after it, like this. It's probably decent enough. Might just be the way that the resolution, when it's that size, just looks wrong. I don't know. I could try a different clamping method to see if it changes how that feels. That's worth a try. Did I have this point clamp before? Let's say linear clamp. Sometimes you just gotta tinker with these. Ooh, see how it's all like grainy? That's no good. Ink wrap. Yeah, it doesn't really help. It's like it shaves off a pixel where it shouldn't. I don't know if it's just the way that it scales or what. Yeah, so like there it's fine. But the differing ones here is just not quite right. Which again isn't really a problem with this one, but maybe it's just because it's so big. The pixels like are bigger than their actual space. See how this looks. Yeah, that's no good. Suppose I could try doing this mode on. Nah. Okay. We'll just set it back to point clamp and call it good. Seemed to for a second, but yeah, anyways. Alright. So I've got about 7 minutes here. So what that will do for us is on something like the program editor now. I could have these well-known resolutions, or get them and then search through them to find it, but I think it's 0, 1, 2 would be, if I just say, hey, these are fixed values, ones that you could code against, I could do something like this. Set disk res to 2, and then when we're all done, it would be set it back to what it was. Ooh, you know what I should do is, actually get disk res should actually return because I've got to restore it somehow, so it's kind of like I need to be able to push this on. Then you do editing, you know, in this resolution or whatever. It's just so weird. But then if you exit, it's got to kind of come back to the resolution that it was at. So it's got like a so I think what I should do here is do get desc res change that to get avail, and we'll change or maybe it's called sup. Just use that one again. It's Desprez. It's supported display resolution. Then we'll get a int get Desprez, which will actually return the current index. So which would be easier if I actually so what I should do is here, like, select R, I, probably didn't need to do that, but maybe there's just an index of. Am I just overthinking this? I think there's an index of in on an array, but maybe there isn't on. Yeah, this is ugly, but so then here we'll go get Desprez, which returns just an int. It's the index of the current resolution of the display. There we go. Oh shoot. I need to modify the OS code to handle that now. So what we could do here then is this is no longer get Desprez, it's get sup Desprez. This one is get Desprez. Res equals. Then down here, when this is all done, I will go set Desprez to old res, restoring it to what it was. So if I started off at this resolution, and then I go into the editor, and then I exit, I come back to the resolution I left in. Perfect. 3 o'clock. I will probably call that good for today. It's my wife's birthday today. I accepted a job offer this morning. Cool stuff. So, get and set the display resolution. Cool. All right, well, thanks for watching. I'm going to take off here.